You think because she wouldn't have sex with you, she's stringing you along.
Yeah.
You ended your relationship.
Welcome to the TLDR channel. Every week we dive deep into different Reddit threads to bring you the best and worst Reddit has to offer.
Alright, today's story comes from Relationship Advice.
Yes.
Title, I, 23 male, broke up with my girlfriend, 21 female, of 3 years because she wanted to remain a virgin. Now she wants to get back together because she told me she had sex with someone else when we broke up. How should I proceed? Post, I, 23 male, met my ex, 21 female, 3 years ago. We lived on campus at university in different halls of residence. After a few months, we got together, and for the most part, we've been very happy. There was always one issue though. My ex grew up in a very religious home. Her father is a pastor, and she has been open with her family that she does not share their faith. They weren't happy with it, but they accepted it and that she can make her own decisions. Nevertheless, I think some of that religious upbringing was still in her mind. I grew up in a different religion, but was never very serious about it and am no longer religious. Our relationship was pretty normal, except that she told me very early that she was a virgin and wanted to stay that way until she was married. It wasn't for religious reasons, as I mentioned. She isn't religious, but she was very focused on not disappointing her dad. She did other sexual things, just not intercourse. I never had much luck with girls growing up, and going into the relationship, I was a virgin, and I still am. At least if you classify being a virgin as never having intercourse. Anyway, I was becoming more resentful of the fact that everyone I know was having normal sexual relationships and we weren't. I couldn't understand why she didn't want to have a full sexual relationship, though of course I never pressured her about it. I felt that while I was at university and pretty broke, getting married was something for the future. Last year, I was in my last year of university and she was working in her first professional job. Her degree was shorter than mine, so she finished uni first despite being younger than me. She was talking a lot about all these successful guys she met at work, which didn't make me feel lesser, and I was still a broke uni student. Coupled with her still not wanting to have a full sexual relationship, it did make me feel more resentful. We had some arguments about it, and after a while I felt I should end the relationship as we wanted different things in our lives, and we're on different paths. It was awful. She was crying a lot, and I felt terrible afterwards. Anyways, it has been nearly 6 months since we broke up. We haven't been in touch at all for most of the time. I have not been involved with anyone else in that time, as I was 100% focused on finishing my degree. I finally finished uni and I'm about to start my first professional job. She recently got in touch again and asked to meet up. I was hesitant, but decided we had so much good history that I should hear her out. She told me she'd been missing me terribly these past 6 months, that she thinks she wants to get back together and is open to having a sexual relationship now. I asked her, why now? What changed? And she looked uncomfortable. After a little bit of prying, she said that she had a short-term fling with one of the older guys at work while we were broken up. Very nice, Coco. Thank you. Which of course she was fine as she wasn't. Which was fine as she was my girlfriend. Anyway, she said he persisted with her until she started having sex with him. She ended it with him recently. She was clear that it was consensual, but that the guy was very persistent with pursuing sex with her. I was gutted. I couldn't understand why she'd make me wait all those years, but was fine doing it with some new guy she'd only been seeing in a short amount of time. I asked if the reason was she was open to having a sexual relationship now is because she wasn't a virgin anymore. She said yes. I asked her to give me some space to process this all. I am conflicted and would love some advice. I have missed her a lot and I still have feelings for her. At the same time, it feels like I was strung along for years. It's hard to put my finger on why I don't want to take her back. Everything logically makes sense for us to get back together. I even get to finally have a sexual relationship with her. But I feel awful about this whole thing and don't want to ignore those feelings.
TLDR. I, 23 male, dated my ex, 21 female, for 3 years. Started in university. Despite a happy relationship, she chose to remain a virgin due to concerns about disappointing her religious father. Even though she hasn't been religious herself, this created resentment in me, especially as she began her professional life. We broke up because of our different life paths and her continued reluctance for a full sexual relationship. 6 months later, she reached out wanting to reconcile and now is open to a sexual relationship. However, she has revealed she had a short-term fling with her persistent older coworker during our breakup, which left me feeling hurt and conflicted. Despite missing her, I struggle with the feeling of being strung along. Yeah, I have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah, I'm gonna first of all say this guy sounds kind of dumb. First of all, he's not being strung. Okay, maybe he's not dumb, but he sounds very selfish. And this is, look, I'm a guy, I understand, sexual relationships can be very, enticing and good, and sure, you want experience, but you're literally with this girl, everything was fine, she wants to wait till marriage, there is nothing wrong with that. Now, if that's not okay with you, that's fine. And if she gives it up to someone else, it's literally none of your business. But instead, you break up with, you're the one who broke up with her, she didn't break up with you.
Yeah.
You broke up with her because she wasn't having sexual relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
So now this girl who you've been with for a while, who is saving it for marriage, probably with you, saving it for you, is self-conscious probably about her, holding it back, right?
Yeah.
She probably felt pressured, and maybe the new guy pressured her, and maybe she was in her own head about the breakup, obviously, because she liked you a lot. So now she gives up to this guy because of the maybe not maybe the self-consciousness, maybe the doubt, maybe the maybe she was not in a great place, maybe she was, who knows. So she gives it up, which is fine because it's up to her. But I would say it's probably because you're the one who probably did that to make her think that maybe I should give it up and do get intimate with someone because
of her.
I held out last time, and now I don't want to be in that same place. You're not entitled to her to have sex with her, especially even if you're married, you're not entitled to have sex with your partner, right? It's consensual. I don't know why you'd want to pressure your partner. Look, I get if you guys haven't done anything in a long time, or you have different sexual libidos, that's fine. But you need to communicate with that. If you're pressuring your partner to have sex with them, and that in my mind doesn't make sense to me, but only because, and I'll be full honest, I did this when I was young. I pressured girls to try to have sex with me when I was really young, but as I got older, I did not like that at all. It made less sense to me. Because why would you want to pressure someone to want to have sex with you? Maybe if they don't want to do it, then it's going to be less desirable for them. If a girl is wanting to do it with you, and maybe you don't convince her, maybe you just keep dating her, and then eventually, okay, then she changes her mind. But if you're pressuring a girl to do it, she's not going to want to do it, or maybe she's less willing and it's less enjoyable for her. Why would you want an experience to be less enjoyable? It's supposed to be fun for the both of you. It's supposed to be a very intimate thing that you're doing together. That's just my opinion, though. This guy she doesn't know him anything. It doesn't matter if it's religious or not. If that's what she believes and she wanted to hold it for marriage, and first of all, as a boyfriend of 3 years and you virgin yourself, you should have respected her choice to hold something maybe that she values and then she values for her family. You're the one who broke up with her, so you can't really be that upset that it's really not your choice that she gave it up to anyone else, right? You broke up with her. Maybe you should have talked with her about it. Who knows? And then you get jealous about her talking about some dudes that make more money than you. Doesn't matter, right? But that's just me. I mean, I don't like the way he's framing it. He seems like she owes him that sexual relationship. Who cares if everyone else is doing it, dude? It doesn't matter. It's you and your girl, right? This is the girl you probably want to get married to. You guys would have plenty of sexual intimacy in your marriage. That's what I think, though. I don't think she owes it, and he sounds kind of like a little b-boy.
I knew that's what you were going to say. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, honestly, I was thinking all of that stuff because he does sound very selfish and immature, and it's about me and my pleasure versus caring about his partner and wanting to make her feel comfortable and loved. and safe enough to be able to take that next step. Maybe he was slightly pressuring her, especially considering that he was saying everyone around us is doing it. And I do think that her potentially getting a complex from him breaking up with her because of the no sexual relationship might have pressured her into doing it a lot sooner and kind of having to process that. And there's this older guy giving her attention. I'm not saying that he pushed her to this, but mentally she could have not been in the right headspace to where she would have made the same decisions. Because if she ended up dating someone from her work that is older, maybe is more of a smooth talker, who she perceives to have a more stable and higher income, all of those different factors could have been taken into consideration. But I do think that had she waited to kind of heal from that past relationship, I don't think that she would have rushed into it. 6 months later.
Yeah, so they had 6 months to be apart.
So that's a really short-term relationship right there. So I think she definitely had some issues about virginity, especially being 21. At that age, I was constantly being told when I was in college how, oh, you just need to do it. Just need to find someone to sleep with. It doesn't even mean anything. It was just the hookup culture that was coming about during that time. And I was very adamant about not doing it until I was married also. So this is, I think, a good story to something that we can both relate to. And I will say that you were very patient with me and you never pressured me. I always felt very comfortable with you. And it takes a lot to admit.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to act like I'm some amazing, like, holy male figure that always respected women. You know what I'm saying? I mean, sure, when I was younger, I was
a dickhead.
I wouldn't say that. I would say, you know, when you're young or you're only thinking about yourself sometimes and not about what your partner, it was best for your partner, you're not really worried about whether they want to have sex. You're more worried about meeting your own needs, which this person, I mean, he's pretty young, still 23 is still pretty young. But he's, you know, even at the end of his last paragraph in his first post, he said, I'm conflicted, I miss her a lot. But at the same time, I felt I was strung along for years. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? How does that even make sense in your mind that you think because she wouldn't have sex with you, she's stringing you along?
Yeah.
You ended your relationship because she wouldn't have sex with you and wanted to save it for marriage. A lot of guys want girls like that. They want girls who are saving themselves for, well, some guys want girls that save themselves for marriage because they find that respectable that a girl is, you know, valuing herself to, or in their eyes, keeping their value by not sleeping around, right?
Discipline.
Yeah, discipline, which, you know, I can see both sides. Sure, it's discipline and it's good. You know, there is some merit to saving yourself for marriage. But there's also nothing wrong with, you know, not saving yourself for marriage. But it really depends on you and whatever you want to do for your life. It's none of my business. But this guy is still thinking very immaturely. He's like, she's stringing me along. That doesn't make any sense. Just because you're the one that put this doubt in her mind, I guarantee you put the doubt in her mind. And we'll maybe learn more about it the longer we talk about it. But I feel like the doubt that you placed in her mind from breaking up to her and that experience made her more open to sleeping with someone. Now,
more susceptible to pressure too.
Yeah, probably. And, you know, maybe she could have done that with you, but is that really what you want? You want to pressure this person that you care about and love to have sex with you just because you're resentful that other people are doing it and you're not? Like, is that your bar? Is that every time you're going to be in a relationship, you're going to be resentful because, you know, someone else has a nicer car? Is some other couple goes on expensive trips, or some other couple does something that you're not? You're going to resent your partner for not participating in something that maybe she's not ready to? Like, I mean, they're pretty young, so I guess that's a good question. But, I mean, they have a lot to grow. I just think he's very selfish, and him saying that he's still worried about him instead of, you know, them as a couple, or, you know, any actions he took or anything. Instead of saying, I could have done something too, or, you know, what's a compromise here, or, you know, I might have pushed her to do this. Instead, he's just like, oh, I wasted all this time dating this girl, even though he said previously that he couldn't get girls anyways. Okay, maybe he could get girls, but it sounds like he's not a very, not a lady getter from the first paragraph. So he says, I never had any luck with girls growing up. Maybe this is an indication of why he sounds like a selfish person. Maybe he hasn't grown out of that, and maybe girls caught on to that when they were talking to him. But
I don't think he conceptualizes that he could have had a hand in her losing her virginity to someone in a shorter span, you know?
yeah, I agree.
It hasn't even crossed his mind. He's just like, oh, well, she was willing to do it with the next guy.
Let's proceed to the follow-up question, then we'll go to the next.
Okay, so for the follow-up question, how do you define intimacy in a relationship? Let us know down in the comments and tell us your stories.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more episodes. Drop your comments, suggestions, and thoughts on these stories. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep on living.